Bueno, increíblemente estamos de vuelta en Entre Humos Live después de un par de semanas que no habíamos estado aquí, pero teníamos que aprovechar una visita bien especial que tenemos de un invitado que lo voy a anunciar ya mismo. Porque han sido, de verdad, que 2 semanas, es más, el mes completo de la FIFA ha sido una loquera. Todos sabemos que ya hoy como que mucha gente está perdida porque no sabemos por dónde empezar la semana, porque no tenemos juegos a los que tenemos que estar pendientes. Nosotros estamos sentados aquí en la terraza de Entre Humos en San Patricio, y de verdad que gracias a los auspiciadores que nos han apoyado durante todo este mes de FIFA 2026, a la gente de Winning, a la gente de Nikon, que las transmisiones han sido excelentes de todos los juegos de Nikon por Telemundo y por Fox. Gracias a todo el equipo de Entre Humos que ha estado aquí recibiendo a todos ustedes, visitándonos en este mes de FIFA, que ha sido de verdad que increíblemente bueno. Han llegado muchas cosas nuevas, han llegado muchos cigarros nuevos, el espacio ha estado increíble, siguen llegando clientes nuevos. De verdad que estamos increíblemente felices de cómo se ha ido desarrollando Entre Humos San Patricio durante el mes de julio y el mes de junio, así que hemos estado organizando para los próximos live un área, estamos buscando un espacio donde podamos hacer el live, que no tengamos que estar moviéndonos de sitio todo el tiempo. Pero habiendo dicho eso, voy a aprovechar, a menos que Alejandra, que está por allá en producción, me diga que se me quedó algo más tarde, me lo recuerde. Voy a empezar en inglés. Right, we're going to do this in English.
Sorry about that.
En inglés.
Entiendo más que yo hablo, pero yo hablo tabaco más que yo hablo español.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
So English is
we're going to go
better,
with that. So I'm going to introduce the brand ambassador for Davidoff brand.
Yes.
For Puerto Rico and U.S.?
Yeah, U.S., Puerto Rico, and then I also host our retailer trips we do down to the factory in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, so we got to talk about that one.
Sure. Yeah, why not? I'm here for it. But
Tristan Alex Weghorn.
Not everybody catches that.
AKA Alex.
Alex, yes. More widely known as Alex, but yes.
Welcome to Puerto Rico, my friend.
Very nice to be here. My first
And welcome
trip.
to Entre Humos.
This is a beautiful spot. Absolutely beautiful. What you guys have done in just a short amount of time in this new location is really, really impressive and makes me very excited to see what you guys have.
Thank you very much.
And in store for the next couple of weeks and months.
And like we tell, all our customers, our locker members, and all our visitors, we built it so they can enjoy the lifestyle.
Well, this is a hell of a place to enjoy the lifestyle. You've done a great job, and bigger and better things still to come as well.
Thank you. Cheers for that.
Salud.
And hope to have you in Puerto Rico more often. I know David always wants to come by himself, but
you have no idea how much I had to twist his arm to finally say, yeah, you can come too.
So I hope everybody's hearing us okay. If you can't hear us okay, let us know. But we're gonna keep going, and Alejandra will let us know. But I think we're outdoor. We're literally in the terrace. So
yes, yeah.
Cars go by and people walk around. So hopefully everybody can hear us. Mm. Let's talk Davidoff. And I know it's easy for you to talk Davidoff, but I have a question. Maybe to try to. How long have you been with Davidoff, by the way? Let's start with that.
So I started at the end of May of 2022. So I'm just over 4 years. Okay. So I have a little bit of time.
No, I think 4 years qualifies you for the first question that I'm going to make. I'm going to pose.
We'll see.
And hopefully that'll also open the door to let you really dive into Davidoff. Okay. I think for us, a lot of aficionados know Davidoff. Mm-hmm. It's Davidoff. I mean, a lot of newer aficionados have heard of Davidoff, and they go to a lounge and they think Davidoff, and they probably feel like, I'm not ready for that yet. That's on the higher end tier. But I know you're too young for this, but everybody's heard about the boom of the 90s.
Of course, yeah.
And then everything came down.
Yeah.
And I think we're experiencing, I don't like to call it a boom, I think we're really in a second or renaissance of premium cigar smoking and enjoyment. We have a lot of younger smokers coming in passionately about the cigar.
Yeah.
I think it's a cyclical thing. I think we're finally picking up, you know, the young professional.
There's the ebbs and flows.
Like everything in the world, you know, sometimes we go all the way to the left for a long time, and then we go all the way to the right, and then we find the middle ground. And I think, especially with men and women, I mean, women are starting to enjoy cigars more than before.
The largest growth in terms of cigar smoking demographic by far.
And the same with whiskey.
Yeah.
Women didn't used to be whiskey drinkers. Women are now passionate about whiskey and other spirits that are, you know,
very much so.
Or I guess more reserved to men at some point, or more normal fermented because of the, you know, stronger mouthfeel, a stronger everything, more alcohol, etc., etc. Women were more expected to go with champagne or wine, etc. How is Davidoff feeling with this new uptrend in premium cigars? A lot of brands are coming out that obviously we all knew that was going to happen. There's like a crap ton of brands out there. But Davidoff is not just, I'm going to say, call it one of the staples of the cigar history, or the history of cigars.
Yeah.
But Davidoff is, you know, it's Ferrari, it's Dom Perignon, you know?
Right?
It's the brands, Chanel, the top tier. Obviously with Avo and Camacho and everything, and Zeno, everything else underneath the umbrella. But Davidoff, other than limited editions, hadn't put out anything new, different, aggressive out in a while. And now we have the Puro Dominicano.
That we do. Which I shall be enjoying.
How's Avo looking at the industry? How's Avo, Davidoff looking at the industry and the market? So
it's, first off, definitely multi-layered question, right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of different ways to answer this question and to kind of look at it. Depends on what your lens is, I guess. But from our state of mind, for the United States, just in general, you see a little bit of a downturn in terms of cigar activity at the consumer level. So when you think about what that means for the industry, you're looking at, especially like imports, they're a little bit lower than we have seen in the past. But that said, from a Davidoff perspective, we're still very healthy. We actually have seen some really, really great numbers, not over the last couple of years, but actually even the first half of this year has been incredibly strong for us. So we're in a very, very, I won't say lucky position, because it's something, in my opinion, I'm biased. I recognize my bias. But we have worked, certainly, for the type of numbers that we've gotten. But in my opinion, and really from my lens, not just the Davidoff lens, but my personal lens, we've worked really hard to provide the experience that everyone out there should look to. And when you decide to take your hard-earned time and money to invest into a Davidoff cigar, you should be able to get as much out of that as possible, because even if it's at a higher price point, and there is a lot of saturation in the U.S. market, there's more brands here in the U.S. and Puerto Rico than there are in other global markets. Right. So there's a lot more options to choose from at a lot of different price points. But I feel when you decide, as I said, to invest that time and money into that Davidoff experience, you are going to get your value for money, right? And especially that value for time. That's one of the reasons why our tagline is "Time Beautifully Filled," because the price point may dictate how frequently you choose to or are able to enjoy a Davidoff cigar. But as I said, whenever you decide to make that decision, when you take those extra dollars you may have saved up from purchasing other cigars or different things out in the world, and you say, okay, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to go out of my normal wheelhouse and I'm going to go for a Davidoff. It's going to give me everything I've wanted and more. And when you can experience it either with a fine rum or a fine bourbon, or with some of your best friends, or even if you come to a spot like Entre Humos and you're enjoying meeting other people, new people, that that experience is going to be greater than some of the parts. And so that's one of the reasons why I feel like we have been doing so well over the last couple of years in particular, is because we've been able to deliver, honestly.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's why Davidoff is, everybody says it that way. Davidoff is Davidoff, like other brands that are obviously the top tiers out there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to challenge you a little bit with what you said, because one of the things we really enjoy doing here is explaining to our customers why a cigar costs what it costs.
Fair. That's fair.
And we're very keen on telling our customers, there's daily smokes, there's a once a week or twice a week, there's your Friday cigar, or the Thursday cigar, your afternoon meeting relax cigar. That's not going to be your daily smoke necessarily. That's for a specialer moment.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. If you have something to celebrate.
Then there's your celebration cigars, right? That's the New Year's, the birthday, etc. But at the same time,
the wedding, the divorce, whatever you're celebrating,
exactly.
Whatever you're celebrating.
But at the same time, I think there's a price point out there that Davidoff hits that is very wide, actually. That is very wide. That is, $17 all the way to $25, $30 cigar. That
all the way up to $750 cigar too.
But that spectrum specifically, we have customers that are turning Davidoff and that price point into not maybe their daily cigar, but their 2, 3, 4 times a week cigar, because they understand the quality behind the product.
Yes.
Not the marketing, not it's the history, the quality of the product. And we've told them the reason behind this price point is because this was aged for 10 years. And you can imagine how much it costs to keep something for 10 years.
Yes.
No power, service, employees, blah, blah, blah. And then they get it. So to your point, that's something that Davidoff really represents. The price value of not just a brand, but the product.
Yeah, and so we actually have a term for that. We call it the Davidoff difference. So it is exactly what you were just talking about. We had a large marketing campaign going from 23 to 25. So we had 3 years, and it was the Davidoff difference. And it was really to help people understand exactly what you're talking about, is what is the Davidoff difference? What goes into our tobaccos? What goes into our cigars? What goes into our people, to be able to have a one-of-one piece of art, because every single cigar that is produced is a one-of-one piece of art. And to have them come out as consistently as they do, the quality control that we do to ensure that. And then on top of that, not just, as you mentioned, it had been a little bit of time, 9 years since we had done a core release, but to be able to have the inventory to be able to not only help maintain those core blends we've had, but also to do those limited editions. And people more recently maybe know us for, because you have especially the year of the Chinese Zodiac comes out in November every single year. This year coming up going to be Year of the Sheep. We have the Chef's Edition, which I'd say is that next installment style limited release. It's not happening on a regular basis, but it's one of those limited editions where people are always asking me, hey, when's the next one coming out? I'm always getting that type of question. But you don't have a brand that builds itself on limited editions, right? You have to have the core product to give the brand any type of cachet to make a limited edition so special and worth hunting to find it in the first place, and then also the price point that typically will go along with it. So that was one of the reasons why we felt we were due for the Pure Dominicano, which was launched in April of this year. It had been 9 years, so 2017 was the late hour.
Because the Maduro doesn't count, because the Maduro was a relaunch.
So yes and no. Yes, we had a Davidoff Maduro previously, but it is a completely different blend.
Okay.
Also, that is a limited release. So limited release and limited edition, those are actually two different things. Somebody might think of them and use those terms interchangeably.
Yep, they're not.
Limited edition is going to be one run and done. So let's say we do a Chef's Edition. Let's say there's anywhere from 15,000 to 17,000 boxes that are released for the global distribution. So everybody in the world has only 15 to 17,000 boxes to split up. But a limited release, for example, that Davidoff Maduro from 2024, launched in 24, we were producing it for 24 and 25, but we're no longer producing it. So that, and it's had
The Maduro.
The Maduro, yeah, we are not producing it
So
anymore.
whatever's left is what's
That's it.
left.
That's it. Yes.
Oh, you know, I didn't know that.
It is not a core product.
David, take a note. I need to order more of the Maduro before we run out.
Smart, because, and especially for those individuals who do like those limited editions, and especially if you want to be able to find a cigar years down the road, you won't be able to. That's why I always say get them now.
Yep.
Right? It is a limited product, so it is a little bit higher price point, but every once in a while you grab 2 or 3, put them away in your humidor, kind of squirrel them away to the side. 2, 3 trips down the road, grab another couple, right? You're not saying to try to buy an entire box right away, but you want to make sure you're stocking up, because that faucet is going to turn off. You won't be able to find it. This is going to go the way of Pura de Oro, Dominicana 2014, that previous Maduro, any of the 702. I get asked about the 702 all the time, and that wrapper leaf has been gone for a while. So that's never coming back. So this is a cigar that's great now, but also supremely well set up for long-term aging. So you want to make sure you have that, because there will be a point in time where you will not be able to find those again. You're going to be kicking yourself that you weren't able to.
I keep saying it.
Yeah.
It's the wine world.
Yeah. And it's amazing how many correlations you have between cigars and wine, from the ground all the way to the final product. They're some of the few things that continue to mature and age, and a lot of times get better if they're properly maintained after it's a finished product. But again, you have to have the fundamentals down right.
Right.
And for us, that's our crop to shop mentality. It's a vertical integration strategy. So we want to have control over every step, from that seed all the way down to the selection of which retailers are allowed to be able to have a Davidoff appointed merchant white label account. So we want to have that innovation happen, and we want to make sure the consumers are able to experience exactly what we have in mind when we come up with a cigar. But as I said, it's that obsessive that obsessiveness over all of the tedious steps throughout that entire crop to shop mentality. It's making sure the seeds are going to be the best possible seeds. We only use the top 10% most viable seeds from our inventory. We have, for example, the fermentation. We're doing an average of 8 months worth of fermentation, which is a very labor intensive process. I think that's one thing maybe people aren't as aware of, right, is the work that goes into it, the manual labor. So when you have your piles of the tobaccos, the pilons, you have to have heat, volume, and humidity. And as those piles are sitting there, and the way the tobacco presses,
control it, and control it,
and you're doing this in not necessarily the most controlled environment.
Yeah.
The weather has a lot to do with this, so you have to be able to keep tabs on that temperature as the middle part of the pilon continues to rise. And as we get to our upper thresholds in terms of temperature, we have to shuffle the deck, and we have to cool that tobacco down to make sure it goes through that next round of fermentation. And that takes 4 people roughly 32 hours to do one time. And this is happening 6, 7, 8, 9 times during an roughly 8-month fermentation. So there's a lot of hand holding, literally, that happens with the tobacco before a roller ever sees the tobacco. Once you talk about Davidoff rollers, you have to have a minimum of 10 years rolling experience before you can attempt your first Davidoff cigar as a roller. So you have to be basically considered a master at your craft before you're let into the front door of CDAV.
How many factories does Davidoff have?
So for the Davidoff brand itself, we actually only have one.
Okay.
So we have Tabadom, our facility down out in Villa Gonzalez, outside of Santiago. So we have CDAV, which is our Davidoff factory. So only Davidoff cigars are rolled in that particular factory.
So you're not making any Davidoff in Honduras?
No. No, that's going to be, for example, like the Xenos are going to be made there. Camacho is made there. And actually, the new Avo Expresivo is going to be...
we haven't talked about Puro Dominicano yet. So.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, there is so much to talk about.
I know.
But yeah, this is actually the first Avo that's being produced in our Honduras factory. That was a lot. That's like drinking from a fire hose. Pick which direction do you want to go. I'll try to talk Expresivo as much as I can.
Let's talk Puro Dominicano, but I think we need to light your cigar at some point.
There is that part. Yeah, I am going to be doing a lot of talking. So
before somebody starts telling me, yeah, does he smoke?
I promise I do.
No, but we're you know, it is really a pleasure to have
Is
Alex.
there any gas in it?
To have Alex here.
That's a new one.
No, that's a new one. And I thank David for making it happen. Also, because I know, it is a beautiful lighter. And actually, we have a lot of fans of the Sino lighters too here at the shop. But for us, it's really cool that you're here, that you were able to come to visit us, and because Davidoff is definitely one of those brands that I know for a fact in Puerto Rico is very, very loved. I know there's a couple of appointed retailers here on the island, just a couple. Now there's a couple more, or not. You don't look at me weird, but not too many. But if there's one thing that's important, that you said, it's important to get your Davidoff at an appointed retailer.
Yes.
Because like we've seen over and over again, and I'm sure most retailers see this all the time, being able to explain to that new aficionado or aficionada that is coming in the difference between what they're buying and the experience they're going to have, their bang for the buck, let's put it that way. There's a reason for different prices.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's really important that not just the person doing the purchasing, but the person doing the selling, you know, the floor employee, the humidor manager, the waiters. In our case, our bartenders and our waiters, all of them can walk into that humidor with you, any of them.
Love that.
And talk to you about any of the cigars that are in there. Because we actually make it a point to be able to recommend cocktails or drinks that go with whatever you're going to be smoking. Because we're very much into pairing making the experience as best as possible. And you as an ambassador, and now we know that he's WSET level 1, so you did your wine training as well.
I did. I've tried to maintain as much of that knowledge as I can.
And you only maintain it by drinking.
Well, that is the thing. Yeah, you have to be able to you use it or lose it.
Exactly. So don't lose it.
Oh, right.
So it really is very special to have you here, because I know that your day-to-day is education.
Yeah, correct.
And the education part of the industry is extremely important. I'm lucky enough to be part of the PCA's Education Council committee.
I love that.
That's awesome. Along with Carlo Carrioni and other 10 members that were there.
Yeah.
So we think that true education, not just for the consumer, but for the retailer, is what will give our industry a longevity that maybe didn't happen back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's not just buying something for the sake of, it's a pretty band.
Right.
Or the box was really eye-catching, which is important. The first way we experience anything is visually, right? So it has its part. But to be able for somebody to explain, why do all these brown leaves perform in this way versus something else?
Costs $40
versus this price point. And is this what I'm looking for too?
Right.
And being able to have that conversation with the consumer is very, very important, and it's not the easiest thing to do sometimes.
So let's go Puro Dominicano.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one thing about Davidoff that I know is very special. Obviously, it's Dominican Republic. You know, with the likes of Mr. Henke Kellner, Mr. Eladio Diaz, who are mythical creatures in the world of cigars, and both were a big part of Davidoff. You ventured out to put out a Puro Dominicano.
Yeah.
So what's so special about Puro Dominicano?
Well, first off, it's not that easy to do a Dominican Pro in the first place. So this particular blend is something, as I said, this was 9 years since our last core blend. So we've been at this for a while to try to figure this out. And so to come to market with a Dominican Pro with 7 leaves from 6 different growing regions around the Dominican Republic is really something to behold. And from a complexity standpoint, I think one of the great things about this blend is it really, in my opinion, truly showcases the vibrancy and diversity that not only the Dominican tobaccos hold, but also the Dominican culture bring to the global table, right? And you'd think there wouldn't be as much differences in terms of the different growing regions, specifically because of the geography. Not a big city, some of these, or excuse me, not a big country. So you have a lot of these growing regions that are geographically close to each other. And you actually have some pretty big differences in terms of the terroir and the climates on each of these, that each of these tobaccos experience and how they grow up and turn into such a great product once you put them together. And then we have this in 3 different formats. They're, I'd say, a little bit more non-traditional in terms of what we normally see. Obviously, Robusto, Toro, Churchill, Gordo. Those are the more traditional sizes. We have the short Robusto, which is this one right here.
The Vitolas, I love.
So
honestly, I love the selection of Vitolas. Really, going with a short Robusto, going with a Perfecto, and it's the perfect, perfect, and the Corona is perfect.
So that short Robusto can be found in the Millennium. So that's the only one that can be found in another blend, and it's at 4.5 by 52 ring gauge. And so if you like that style of cigar, it checks that box very well. The Corona Larga, very much attached to the Dominican Republic in terms of the storylines, because it's a 5 7/8 by 44. Now 5 7/8, if you're going from inches to centimeters, is actually 14.92. So 1492, when Columbus discovered the New World. The Dominican Republic has a lot to do with the New World, and especially the early history. Actually, the longest continuously inhabited European establishment in the New World is Santo Domingo, the capital of the DR. So you have the first government building, the first paved road, the first hospital, the first so on and so forth, right? So that it's a huge part of that side of the Dominican culture. And then the 44 ring gauge refers to 1844, which is the year Dominican Republic gained its independence from Spain. So again,
it was
storyline. There was a lot to it.
That storyline is important. I think that's really important.
It creates touch points, right? It helps people connect.
And literally, I was going to tell you, I think it was interesting being Davidoff that they went with not a fancy smashy name. It was just Puro Dominicano. But now you're giving me the rest of the story that probably not a lot of people know.
Right, yeah, there's more to it.
Because Puro Dominicano is simple. It's a Dominican Puro.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Period.
Right.
And that's what you need to know.
Yeah.
But there's some, what they call them, hidden eggs or something like that. What they call them? Movies,
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. There's Easter eggs in there.
And another, getting back into that marketing language, we call this, it is our gem raised from the ground. That's one of the reasons why we went for this amber colored secondary band. Amber is actually naturally occurring in the Dominican Republic. So it really, again, a gem raised from the ground, that earth, that soil that is specific to the DR. This is our gem, right? And then on top of that, we have the Perfecto, which is what I'm enjoying right now, 5.5 by 50. I personally typically lean towards figurados. I really enjoy figurados, and I really think this is a nostalgic format for me. So, for example, if I'm watching a TV show or a movie that is a period piece, it's set back in the day, whenever that day is, a long time ago, and a cigar shows up. Somebody hands somebody a cigar, for example, in the movie Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. Jude Law. At the end of the first scene, when you have Inspector Lestrade, who is arresting Lord Blackwood, if I'm remembering correctly. Sherlock Holmes hands the inspector a cigar, and they get their picture taken for the paper. It's actually pretty much this format. It looks exactly like this. So it kind of almost gives me that type of old school feel. Yeah, there's something about that. And while it might not necessarily itself go towards the experience of the cigar, it still impacts my feeling of the moment and the experience at that time. But then again, going back to the experience of the cigar with the Figurado, it changes flavors. It has additional complexity because you start with a smaller foot. You have that more impact from the wrapper leaf. Gets towards the middle, it opens up a little bit, more filler tobacco, and then it starts to taper off again. You get more of that wrapper leaf. So if you want a cigar that has so much complexity, not only because of the tobaccos used, but also because of the construction, this checks that box so well, right? You just have to make sure you're not under fans and talking so much it goes out on you. But yeah, this is such a phenomenal cigar. Six different growing regions off the top of my head: Martin Garcia, Mao, Piloto, V. Gonzalez, Navarrete, and those are all in the Cibao Valley in the northwestern part of the country. And then south central, you finish off with Yamasa, and you have 7 different leaves. So you have a Yamasa filler, and then also that wrapper leaf is from Yamasa. So that's the one.
No, it's an incredibly interesting cigar.
Yeah,
incredibly interesting cigar.
Yeah. I will say, just sorry to cut you off, but one last thing is one of the things we wanted to do was we wanted this to be a good intro into Davidoff for a lot of people who maybe haven't tried Davidoff before. And the American palate in particular, typically nowadays, more of that medium to full, a lot of complexity, variety of flavors, also some maybe non-traditional sizes. But also this is indexed at a lower price point to make it a little bit easier for people to come in and say, okay, I'm going to try this cigar. I'm going to have a great experience. I'm going to look at some of those other maybe black band collection cigars, Escurio, Nicaragua, Yamasa. Again, some very amazing cigar. And I feel like people maybe not be quite as familiar with it because it's, for us, a newer blend. And then they get into, oh, well, there's Winston Churchill pillar. Winston Churchill, you have late hour. Oh, well, what's Davidoff known for? Signature, Grand Cru Anniversario, some of those more traditional Davidoff style blends. So this is actually the discovery of the Davidoff world.
You know that ironically, in one of my conversations with David, and it's interesting that you didn't mention that one because I think it's really cool that you didn't mention that one.
You're welcome.
One of my favorite Davidoff cigars is a Colorado.
Okay, do we have time?
For me,
that's in my top 5.
The Colorado is a dark horse, a hidden gem that people have not discovered. I can't hold back talking about that cigar because I think today I think everybody's competing for complexity.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago everybody was competing for power. And I think the world has evolved into complexity. It's like we're almost literally following the wine world. And Colorado, for me, has been one of the most interesting blends and cigars that I smoke more on a daily basis, or at least more than once a week. Because I find it to be a really nicely complex but smooth cigar.
Sure. So I love to talk about Colorado because I can sit here and I can talk at people for hours, days about cigar education, tobacco education, talk about Davidoff, the brand, XYZ, But I find it really impactful when one of the viewers out there can sit down and educate their own palate. This is how you do it with Colorado Claro. Colorado Claro and Anniversario, they're the exact same blend. They're the exact same. The only difference is the wrapper leaf. So you have the traditional shade-grown Ecuadorian wrapper leaf for Anniversario. Now we have a sun grown with Colorado Claro. Because it's the same blend, it's offered in the same sizes. So, cool little exercise at home. You have let's say you're going with Short Perfecto or Special R, the Robusto format. You have that with Anniversario first. Then you have the same format with Colorado Claro. Either same time, back-to-back, one after the other, however. But you do this vertical tasting because the only thing that's different is the wrapper leaf. That means any difference in your experience is going to be because of the wrapper leaf. So now you have educated yourself in what the impact of wrapper leaf is on a cigar.
So can we say that those cigars are wrapper forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Like we say in the cocktailing world.
Yeah.
Like we say spirit forward for a cocktail that wants to present more of the actual spirit.
Correct.
Those are wrapper forward cigars.
And for me,
I'm gonna copyright that phrase, by the way. Wrapper forward.
Wrapper forward. I feel like for me as well, one of the reasons why I like it so much, I get a lot more leather notes from that particular blend or that wrapper leaf specifically. So that's one of the reasons why I like that, because I do try to search that out in some of the times when I'm bebopping around somebody's humidor and having something outside of the Davidoff family. I like that leather characteristics, and I certainly find that with Colorado Claro. But I couldn't agree more. Colorado Claro is definitely in my top 5 regular rotation.
Are we gonna dive into Avo a little bit?
We can, yeah. Again, being the Davidoff guy, I'm a little less qualified for Avo. That's going to be a Garrison Davis thing. He is our Avo brand ambassador, so hopefully we'll be able to get him down here and to also do some Avo stuff. But this has been a very special launch for us. Very, very new. We're very aggressive this year in terms of PCA and our core launches. So Pure Dominicana was April 23rd. Expressivo was June 25th. And then the Zeno Honduras was June 26th, the very next day. But Expressivo, this is not, I guess, a way to say this isn't necessarily going to be considered Avo's Avo, right? This is going to be outside of what some of those Avo traditionalists may expect. So,
agree on that.
Yeah, a super, super complex blend. Ecuadorian wrapper leaf. It's going to have Nicaraguan and Honduran tobaccos in it. So you notice, first off, no Dominican tobacco, but also this is the first Avo manufactured in our Honduras factory. So that's a very, very different thing for us to, and it's just the Expressivo that we're doing that with. But I think when somebody picks up a cigar like this, they're going to be blown away because of that extra complexity you get from these tobaccos put together. And again, that's something that's going to be an even more elevated Avo experience that people should really, really keep their eyes open for. And you in particular, you were mentioning earlier how this one has kind of moved up the ranks very quickly for you.
Let me tell you something. When I saw that cigar, even before I smoked it, when I saw that cigar at PCA this year, just the presentation, not just the box, but the whole presentation at PCA that involves the Expressivo, made me extremely happy. There's something, I'm going to give you a tidbit, because I don't know if you know this or not, but Avo is a very dear person in Puerto Rico.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he has significant history here.
Incredible place in the heart of Puerto Rico.
Sure.
You know, the Avo Lounge, where we're having an event tomorrow, basically launching officially the Avo Expressivo at the Avo Lounge at the Vanderbilt Hotel. Avo used to play piano there, you know, and in other places, because Avo lived here in Puerto Rico. I was lucky enough to be able to meet him. So when I saw the effort put into this relaunch or launch of this cigar, I was extremely happy and excited.
That's awesome.
But then when I tried the cigar, it blew me away. I think the brand needed it, deserved it. I think Avo must be playing piano in his tomb right now. A happy song, for sure.
Cigar store boogie.
Yeah, no, I mean, and not that it was forgotten, but
Yeah.
But I think, and it is this cigar is really what's the word? Conmemoración
A commemoration.
of Avo himself, and it came out amazing.
Love that.
I mean, I really can say it enough because it really is a very, very good cigar.
This one is coming out.
And it came out at the level of quality and in every sense of the Puro Dominicano. So you guys put out 2 bangers this year.
I agree.
2 bangers.
I agree.
For sure.
Certainly. And for those who are a little bit more traditionalist in terms of formats, Robusto, Toro, Churchill.
Yep.
So yeah, you can get something just
very
really
easy,
depends
very
on how much time
Yep.
you want to spend with it. But regardless, it's going to be an amazing amount of time that you're enjoying. I think right now, in particular, that Churchill, is just money. It is so good. That's my personal favorite size right now. Definitely.
I haven't put any of the links to any of the cigars on entrehumos.com today because I didn't want to interrupt Alex because I know we had a lot to cover. On entrehumos.com, the Avo Expresivo is there in all the sizes, Puro Dominicano is in all the sizes, and the Sino Honduras, which we didn't even talk about, and we're not going to talk about today, but came out very nice.
Also amazing.
Bang for the buck, and that cigar is beautiful as well.
Sure, yeah, and
absolutely.
The Zeno Nicaragua, when it first came out, it was a banger right away. You got the I think it was Cigar Journal's best value brand from Honduras that year, and honestly, I think the Zeno Honduras could do the exact same thing.
That Diadema factory is paying for itself.
Absolutely, yeah, they are absolutely crushing it. The whole team over in Honduras has been really on fire. But I mean, again, not to take anything away from Cidav and Davidoff either, because this Puro Dominicano has been absolutely money. Everybody's been falling in love with how this cigar tastes.
Like we
showcases
say,
that Dominican experience.
we're very happy that Davidoff is not resting in their laurels because they're Davidoff.
Right.
They're putting out very good stuff and very well thought. No, it's not about volume; it's about the quality and the right amount.
And to be fair, Davidoff doesn't do anything quickly.
I know.
Absolutely not. Yeah, there is intent.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one of the things I like to say at all my events is enjoy with intent, right?
Right.
But you also have to produce with intent.
Absolutely.
Right, and it's anything from producing a top quality product for our consumers and retailers, or producing a top quality environment for our staff to work in. Again, the people are the most important thing in this entire industry. You have to make sure everybody is taken care of.
Actually, even bringing the Primeros out now in a box.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the 20-count box for the Primeros. Like that's stuff like that. Doing little different things that they have to make sense. And I think we do a good job of thinking things through. It's not just how do we get from A to B? It's how do we get from A to Z and all the steps in between.
Yep, perfect. So everything we talked about and more from Davidoff, Sino, Camacho, everything.
Yeah.
It's on entrehumos.com for our wholesale accounts, our cigar lounges out there, cigarisland.com. Come visit us. We can sit down, have a conversation about Davidoff, Avo, Camacho, and the different brands, and get them to your lounge, educate your staff, help you really build that really nice, profitable humidor with a top shelf, middle shelf, daily cigars, and but most than anything, we love to teach our retailers also to talk to their customers through their employees. So, Alex, thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
You just got here today, so we have like 48 more hours to enjoy and events tomorrow.
I plan on it.
So let's have a lot of fun. Thank you for everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you hopefully next Monday at 6 p.m. on all these channels. We're still live until I click on the thing and we're done. So
sweet.
Part of this is like hand done.
That's awesome.